There have been many shocking stories with this shutdown. This one has really got to me. It's a couple who were forced out of their Nevada home because it sits on federal land. They own the home. Let's make that very clear. Joyce and Ralph Spencer were given less than 24 hours to pack their things and get out. And Joyce joins me now, along with their daughter, Tisha Cook. Welcome to both of you. I'm outraged on your behalf, I've got to say, because this is a really disgusting story. Joyce, you've been married to Ralph for 60 years. You lived in this house since the 70s. You've never ever faced a situation, despite 17 other government shutdowns in that period. Your husband's a veteran of the Korean War. He's been having treatment for cancer, has no cartilage left in his knees. What do you make of this, Joyce?
Well, number one, we've had the house since 1979, but we never ever stayed down there except maybe 26 days out of the first 13 years because we had a ranch and we were busy and didn't really get to go down there that much. So now we've been off and on since then. It's a secondary residence. It's not a permanent home.
Right, but
that is where they like to reside.
Right. Tish, I mean, your parents have never been forced out, though, before, right? Despite the fact they've owned it all this time. Never faced this. What do you feel about what's happened to your parents?
I'm very frustrated. I'm very frustrated for the fact that there's a displacement. They have obligations out there as members of the homeowners to help out with different things, and Dad feels obligated. We help him out with a lot of that. His cancer treatment was all in Las Vegas here this last bit, and that's allowed them to have quick access to the hospitals and so forth because they had that residence. It's just frustrating.
I mean, you're taking this with incredibly good spirit. I'm appalled by what's happened to you. I mean, the fact that there's your mother with you there now. Your dad's pretty frail, and he's gone through all this. He served his country in Korea, for goodness sake, and because of squabbling politicians in Washington, he's been turfed out of his house.
Yeah, and he's very discouraged by it. Notice he's not on any camera interviews. He's lost his trust in everything at this point. He doesn't trust anyone. He feels like anything that he's worked and done, everything in his hard-earned life, has been stripped from him. He has no access to the home. I mean, now he has access to go in there during the day to water his flowers or to go down and make sure that the water pump's working correctly, but they took that in the drop of a hat.
And where are they living at the moment, your parents?
My parents have relocated into town. They're, like I've said, it is a secondary residence. They do have a fifth wheel. Right now they're staying in the fifth wheel. They have a granddaughter that's getting married on the 19th of this month. And they would like to be here close by to be able to join in with all of that.
The housing that we have, other than the house out at the point, has steps up to the porch or up to even the fifth wheel has these high steps, and Ralph can't hardly get up the steps because his knees are so bad that he pulls himself up by holding onto the doors, and I'm afraid he's going to pull the walls down. I mean, he just...
We take this good, and
we're doing fine.
We're frustrated, but there's so many people in a lot worse shape than we are.
Oh, yeah.
And we have each other, and we fall back. We're a very close family unit, and we fall back on our others because we can trust our own.
Well, look, it's very, it's remarkably stoic of you, and you're great Americans for reacting this way to what's come your way, and I appreciate you joining me. Thank you both very much, Joyce and Tisha. Send my very best to Ralph as well, an American war hero.